My brother fell in love with me. Welcome back to a new video. Hey squad, my name is Mats. Let's go.
I burst into my brother's room and blurted out, "Charlie, you're gonna be my boyfriend." He said I was crazy. We were brothers and sisters, but
Of course this is crazy. Yeah, you're brothers and sisters, and it should not be usual that you are boyfriend and girlfriend with your siblings. Yeah, this is kind of weird.
I immediately calmed him down. And I told him that all 11 years at school, I was considered a loser. But it was the last years of my studies, and I decided to prove that I was a cool girl and to win the love of the best guy in school, Dan. How many times have I tried to get Dan's attention?
Okay, so she wants to make Dan jealous with her brother. But I think in school everybody knows that they're like siblings, she and her brother, so it makes no sense. Dan's just laughing about them because they are like playing boyfriend and girlfriend and are actually siblings. This is kinda weird.
But all my attempts have failed. Everyone just laughed at me and said that Dan wouldn't fall for a nerd. And yesterday, I thought I saw Dan wink at me at school in the locker room. I realized here it was.
Locker room? They have like unisex locker rooms? Okay, weird. In school? Okay.
My chance to change everything. But after hearing me out, my brother Charlie flatly refused to play my boyfriend. Oh, right?
Of course he refuses it.
I said that if he did not help, I would tell our parents that I saw him doing something forbidden with the guys at the party.
Okay, what did he do at the party?
Charlie panicked and said he was
I don't want to think about that. Nothing dirty, I hope.
just messing around. And I replied that if our parents found out, they would probably send him to a clinic for treatment. Then he would not have a sports career. He added that he did not expect such a vile blackmail from me. After that, Charlie sighed and asked what to do. The plan was this. I would catch Pretty Dan after school. And when we left school, Charlie would treat me with a bouquet. Dan would get jealous and finally fall in love with me.
Yeah, Dan only thinks, okay, there is her brother and he's giving flowers to her. I don't know how it is there in school, but at my school everybody knew like we're siblings and who's the brother of who and that stuff. So it's obviously everybody in school knows it. So the plan is bullshit, to be honest.
A trick I read about from a pickup coach. We don't look like brothers and sisters. You are a blue-eyed blonde, and I am a brunette with brown eyes. Charlie nodded curtly. After school, everything went as it should. I found Dan, and when we left school, Charlie was waiting for me with a gorgeous bouquet. I hugged my brother, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw how much Dan didn't like it. He was definitely jealous. It worked. Suddenly, a blonde girl came up to us.
I don't know if he's jealous. He doesn't even like you. You're not like together. You're not in a relationship. Why should he get jealous?
And Dan quickly
he doesn't even like you. He calls you nerd.
left with her.
Oh.
What was that just now? Was she his girlfriend? I mean,
he doesn't care about you. Just be honest with him, talk to him, and when you get rejected, just look for another guy, okay? There are so many other guys you can meet. You don't have to get Dan, okay? Because Dan is not quite nice, I guess.
immediately told Charlie to follow them.
And she's so like complicated to make him jealous and that stuff. No, this is bullshit.
Said that he didn't like the guy and that he would go after him just so I wouldn't be in any danger. Come on, you don't know him at all. We watched Dan and his blonde girl carefully, and at one point, they went into the park. The path gradually narrowed. We had to fall far behind to avoid being noticed. And Charlie was always stopping and showing me some leaves.
This is stalking what you're doing now. You follow them. And Charlie is showing some leaves? Are they holding hands? You are siblings. This is like the most weird story I've ever seen. Why is she showing leaves? Yeah, this is like a leaf. Yeah, oh, wow, awesome. This is so weird. The creator of this story, I don't know if he was drunk or on some drugs, I don't know. But some of that, I'm really sure about that.
After another leaf, I suddenly realized that I didn't see Dan.
Yeah, of course you lose them. You are in the forest to follow them, not to look at some leaves.
Did we miss them? It's all because of you, Charlie. I was frantically trying to figure out how to find them when I suddenly saw a Ferris wheel nearby. Bingo! From this height, we'll find Dan quickly. The queue for the wheel was long and I was nervous.
Very, some candy here, some sweets. Very important now,
Charlie tried to calm me down and even brought me cotton candy. How did he know I loved it?
You love cotton candy, okay?
Then it was our turn, and the controller offered to take binoculars. Of course, give me. It will be very useful. We started going up, and I looked through the binoculars for Dan, and Charlie kept saying it was a stupid idea.
Yeah, of
and
course.
then I finally saw Dan on one of the benches. He was having a nice chat with a blonde. We just need to go down there and eavesdrop on their conversation, but the wheel was moving so slowly. Suddenly, we rocked, and for a second, Charlie and I were so close that our lips almost touched. And for the first time, I saw his deep blue eyes so—
No, this is so wrong. This is so freaking wrong, okay? You're siblings. This is your brother. No. No room for interpretation. This is so wrong.
close. Wow. But I immediately pulled away from him. There was an awkward silence in the air.
Yeah.
When we finally got down, I noticed that Charlie looked sad. I pretended that nothing had happened and said that we needed to get to Dan faster.
This isn't not a romantic love story. This is like weird stuff, okay?
I hoped he was still sitting on that bench. We made our way to them and crouched.
Wait, no, they're crawling in the bushes or what? Come on, they're so weird. Okay, now I can understand then that he doesn't want her. What is that? They're stalking them.
I could hear the conversation clearly. At first, they were talking about all sorts of nonsense, but suddenly my name was mentioned in the conversation. I was glad that Dan was thinking of me. But he only laughed at this masquerade with flowers. He didn't believe Charlie was my boyfriend. I was annoyed that my plan had failed. And then
Maybe because he knows that he's your brother?
Charlie began to pull me aside. Charlie.
Out of the nothing, a snake. Okay, a snake attacks them. This is like the what happened? The author of this story was on what did he take? Substances? I don't know. This story is so weird.
What's this for? Looking down, I noticed a snake near my leg. Charlie caught himself and threw it back with a branch.
No, they didn't notice. They are like 1 meter behind, crying, screaming because snakes are attacking.
Dan had already got up from the bench and was walking towards the bushes. He heard my cry. Charlie suddenly howled like a huge dog.
He barks. He makes dog sounds. What? Oh, what am I looking at? Oh.
Dan immediately recoiled, and he and the blonde hurried away. Thank you, Charlie. As soon as we got home, I locked myself in my room and spent half the night coming up with a new plan. But I kept thinking about the moment on the wheel. I couldn't think of anything.
No. Just no. I can repeat. No, just no. He's your brother. Okay? Just no.
Charlie's deep blue eyes. We almost kissed. And then I got an idea. We could kiss in front of Dan. A fake kiss, of course. I went out to breakfast and, as if nothing had happened, told Charlie about it. He almost choked and refused to participate. But I immediately reminded him that there was something I could tell our parents.
This is blackmailing, okay?
Charlie and I arrived at school earlier.
So, they want to kiss now in front of him. But if he knows that they are siblings, it's kind of weird that they kiss.
And we're standing in the school parking lot on purpose. I was worried and kept looking over my shoulder to make sure I didn't miss Dan. And now, at last, he arrived. I wrapped my arms around Charlie's neck and wanted to turn my back on Dan so he wouldn't notice our fake kiss. But Charlie suddenly kissed me for real.
I'm thinking of canceling the video, of interrupting it. Now they're kissing, okay? In this story, nothing shocks me anymore.
Charlie, what are you doing? Yeah. I tried to pull away, and then I noticed over my shoulder that Dan was walking toward me. Ignoring Charlie and our kiss, Dan took my hand and invited me to the party. Oh my god, did it really work? And then Charlie suddenly said that I wasn't going anywhere. No, I said, I'm coming to
He's getting jealous now. Charlie's getting jealous. Charlie falls in love now with his own sister, and now he's jealous because Dan is talking to her. This is too much for me. Okay, let's go. Let's go on.
this party. Then Dan and Charlie exchanged an unfriendly look, after which Dan nodded and left. I immediately snapped at Charlie. What are you doing? Why did you really kiss me? Charlie deadpanned that he just wanted to help. Then make things realistic. Then I thanked Charlie coldly and told him that his help was no longer needed. I turned around and went home. The party was already today, and I needed a cool look. As I picked up my dresses, I banished the thought that my first kiss in life had happened to my brother, and then Charlie came into the room. He was about to say something, but when he saw me, he stopped in mid-sentence, and then he said with a delight that I was stunning. I felt myself blush, turned away, and firmly stated that I was in a hurry, and quickly left. I was looking forward to a great evening with Dan, but he immediately disappeared somewhere, and I was left alone. Everyone was having fun, and I was very lonely. I thought Charlie would support me now, but I stopped myself. At that moment, Dan came up and said that he had a surprise. Before I could answer, Dan pulled me along. Everyone parted, and then I was standing in the center of the room. Dan asked me to close my eyes, and suddenly something nasty was poured on my head. I looked up and there was a bucket of slop hanging from the ceiling. Everyone burst out laughing. Dan, why are you doing this?
Oh no, this is the reason why he invited her, to make fun of her in front of all the people. Wow, this is really hard, okay?
At that moment, he threw a glass of juice at me and said that no one...
He threw a glass of juice? What the heck is this story? Come on!
liked such...
I'm confused, guys. I'm really confused, but it went so far in the story and nothing shocks me anymore, okay?
crazy nerds. Much less him. Then Dan added that I was trying to make him jealous by
Of course, Dan is her hero, and not Dan. Charlie is her hero now, and now he falls in love with her brother, or what?
my brother. He was onto us from the start. Boo! The cheerleaders immediately boomed. You're just a jerk and she's the best girl on earth. I heard a familiar voice. Charlie? But what was he doing here? Charlie said quietly that he didn't like Dan right away. He was worried and decided to check on me. I pushed everyone aside and ran out into the street, with Charlie running after me. I was choking on tears. I embarrassed myself in front of the whole school. Charlie tried to calm me down and told me that Dan wasn't just worthy of me. Through my tears, I asked, and who is worthy, Dan? And then Charlie came right up to me and told me that
No, don't do that. Don't do that. This is not a romantic, cute story. This is just weird. Because you're like family, you're siblings. This is just weird. This is not romantic.
in love with me since childhood and no longer wanted to hide his feelings. That's why he took up sports, to try to drown out his feelings. It helped for a long time, but the incident on the Ferris wheel reminded...
No. I repeat my point. This is not right. This is wrong because you're siblings. This is not a romantic love story.
him of everything.
This is weird stuff, guys.
I couldn't believe it. Charlie, are you sick? You're my brother.
Yeah, oh, wow. Okay. Now you have noticed. Wow.
Staggered away from him and ran away. My mind was all mixed up. He was my brother. We needed to stay away from each other. I didn't want to see Charlie, and I didn't want to be around him. And then I remembered about something forbidden. I ran home. My parents were shocked by my appearance and began to ask what happened. But I blurted out everything to Dad about the party where Charlie was...
Huh? He did what you said. And you just tell your parents anyway. This is not fair.
using some illicit drug.
Okay. He took drugs on the party, okay? This is the whole secret.
I said that he needed urgent treatment and that they should...
The treatment? Come on. This is like, okay, don't do drugs, kids. Don't do it. Don't do drugs, of course. Never try it. Don't do it. When you have tried it once at a party, okay, you're not like addicted, okay? Don't do it, but you're not addicted when you do it like once to try it. Come on. This story is so freaking stupid. I cannot imagine, guys.
taken to the clinic. Dad was furious, and at that moment, Charlie ran home, out of breath. Dad told me to go to my room and ordered Charlie to sit down at the table. I was hurt and ashamed. It seemed like I'd made a terrible mistake. I couldn't sleep all night. One minute, I wanted to go into Charlie's room and hug him. The next, I wanted him out of my life. The next morning, I woke up to a loud slam of the door. I ran to the window. Charlie was walking to the bus stop with his bag. I looked at him for the last time, and suddenly something inside me seemed to shrink. These feelings are terrible, but I can't lose him. I rushed down to my parents and blurted out that Charlie and I were in love. There was a pause. I thought they would begin to say that I was crazy and also let me.
Of course, yeah, it's crazy. Your parents have to react like that in that way, but they're like chill. They're really chill.
Me up in some kind
They're really relaxed.
of an asylum. But Dad didn't just say anything. And then suddenly, he hugged me and said that he and my mom had guessed that this could happen. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then Dad said that they didn't want to talk about it, but it looked like it was time now. My parents adopted me when I was a year old. It turned out that Charlie knew everything, but they asked him not to tell me about it. I was shocked. It turned out.
Okay, she's an adopt child, so they're not real siblings. But it's weird anyway, okay? That step siblings fall in love, okay?
That all this time, Charlie was not my brother. But then it dawned on me that this meant that Charlie and I could be together after all. Hooray! I immediately ran out of the house. My parents shouted after me that I would not make it.
But
the bus was about.
Okay. You're not like blood siblings, yeah? You're like step siblings, but it feels like you're really siblings. But you were adopted when you were like 1 year old, so you spent your whole life together. So it feels like you're like real siblings. This is weird stuff. Still weird stuff, guys.
About to leave, but I didn't care. For the first time in a long time, I was happy. While I was chasing that vile Dan, my true love was so close. A bus stop was around the corner, and I saw Charlie on the bus. I started to scream, and then Charlie noticed me. He ran out of the bus as fast as he could, and I immediately threw my arms around his neck. We're not siblings. I know, he didn't want to tell you.
You're not siblings, no, but you'll spend your whole life together like usual siblings. I just repeat my point, okay? This isn't a romantic love story. This is just weird stuff, guys. Don't fall in love with your siblings.
So as not to hurt you. Charlie gave me a big hug, but the bus gave the signal to leave. Charlie opened his arms. Please don't go away. After all, now we will be together. Despite my tears, Charlie got on the bus. I was amazed. Why was he leaving? But Charlie took his bag from the salon and calmly walked back to me. Actually, I was on my way to the workout, but if this is the case, I can skip one. How? I thought you were going to the clinic. Charlie laughed and said that he settled everything with his father. He gently took my hand and suggested that we take a walk in the park. And I said I wouldn't mind another ride on the Ferris wheel. He already swung his hand.
This is enough, guys, okay? What do you think about that story? Write your opinions in the comments, guys. Thanks for watching. Yes, here you can subscribe my channel. Here you can see 2 other videos, guys. You know what it is. I upload like every day. Hey Squad. And thanks for watching. See you tomorrow in the next video. Bye bye, guys.